Hi, welcome back to Maxim's Inside Track. Hope you've had a good fortnight. I'd like to let you know that the Queenslanders beat the Blues in the State of Origin to take out this series, and they're very much the underdogs. So that's exciting for those that understand the game. What are we seeing at the moment? We saw a positive result or headline number on GDT up 4.8%. So firming prices in Oceania, generally across the board. There's talk of vaccines to combat COVID. There is significant COVID cases going on in the Northern Hemisphere, in Europe and the US. We've got Australia borders opening up, so north and south, east and west. WA talking about opening up as well. So there should be a fair few happy families coming into Christmas time with the opportunity to get back together. We've seen significant freight challenges around the world, both importing into Australia and not only on dairy but packaging, and so it is problematic. There is talk of containers being in short supply in some regions as well. So yeah, once again, I think if you can get ahead of your supply channel, I'd be certainly looking to cover off a little bit more inventory than you normally would. I'll start with full cream milk powder now. New Zealand milk flows are up about just under 1% year on year, and up nearly 2% year on year on a milk solids basis. There was some concerns about dryness. November number may even be in negative. However, they have had some rain and some moisture into the soil in the northern and southern islands of NZ, so that will support milk flows going forward. We saw a really strong result, heavily supported by the Chinese, or China participation on the GDT, up around about 5% across all contracts going forward. There is some strength, or the RMB to the US dollar is still extremely strong, so the weaker US is assisting these importing countries. We've also seen milk in China being quite highly priced because of the inputs, the feed inputs, so that's also making whole milk powder look attractive to the Chinese. So yeah, a pretty positive result for whole milk powder. Moving on to skim milk powder now. We've seen Australian milk collections up about 0.3% for October, so yeah, we're starting to see some good milk flow in Australia. There is parcels of skim milk powder available and around. It feels like this is really balanced globally. Skim milk powder feels like it's tracking sort of sideways for the moment. We did see the GDT result go up 3.6% on the most recent auction, so that was positive for Oceania, and also a slight firming in the EU with the US under a little bit of pressure, but feeling balanced and sideways for the next little while for skim milk powder. Moving on to the fats now, butter and AMF. Another positive result on the GDT, up about just under 4% for butter. So this is nearly 3 months worth of gains for Oceania butter. Obviously demand for NZ origin product. We are seeing some concerns in the northern hemisphere around that food service demand as these COVID cases continue to grow and people's either not willing to or inability to go out into those food service areas and consume, you know, products that take a lot of dairy fats. So yeah, from a demand side of things, that is a little bit problematic. The retail is mopping up, or retailers around the world for butter are mopping up some of this excess fat from food service. So still reasonably balanced, and I'm erring cautiously on dairy fats as well, as you know, potentially still a sideways movement, I think, for the next little period. In the US, we're seeing government support starting to wane as well for dairy. That food box program coming off at the end of December, and yeah, so I think fats trending sideways for a little bit. Moving on to cheeses or cheddar, we saw a positive result on the GDT, up 3+%, just really recovering the last fortnight's losses. This category tracking sideways. I believe European prices are pretty stable. Once again, food service demand and looking a little bit weaker in the northern hemisphere. So yeah, cheeses I think sideways, and then I think we'll also, depending on disposable income, as salaries etc get cut or government support gets cut, whether people are going to reach off that retail shelf and pick up a 500 gram or a kilo block of cheddar will remain to be seen, but sideways-ish for the moment. Last category we'll cover off is whey, lactose. These two products are relatively stable. Lactose is stable at high dollars, and whey's tracking sideways at reasonable numbers as well. Still good demand out of China, and the proteins have found a little bit of support. However, certainly aren't rallying away from us on the WPCs and WPIs, but yeah, reasonably well supported. That concludes another edition of Maxim's Inside Track. Stay well. We'll chat to you soon. Thank you.